Welcome to Side Depth. Take a deep breath and let that breath take you inward. What if love isn't something you choose, but something that chooses you? What if long before your heart fluttered or your mind raced, your blood already knew? Not metaphorically, literally. Something ancient, something silent, etched deep in your biology, guiding you toward the people who awaken your deepest truths. Carl Jung believed our desires emerge, not from the surface, but from the unconscious, from the shadows we avoid, the wounds we carry, the stories written in silence. And maybe your blood is part of that silence. In many Eastern cultures, blood type isn't just about health, it's about connection, energy, the way your soul meets another. Think about it, that instant pull, that eerie familiarity, that feeling of recognition before a single word is spoken. Is it chemistry or is it destiny? Today, we go beyond compatibility, beyond logic, beyond coincidence, into the depths of the psyche, where biology meets mystery. This is Side Depth, and you're about to see love differently. In Japan and South Korea, your blood type isn't just something printed on a medical chart. It's believed to hold the blueprint of your personality, almost like a biological horoscope. Just as many people in the West turn to MBTI to understand their inner wiring, millions in the East look to blood type as a mirror of the self. But this isn't just cultural curiosity. It speaks to something deeper. The idea that who you are, how you feel, how you connect with others, may be written into your very biology. Let's begin with the basics. People with type A blood are often described as sensitive, orderly, and conscientious, yet prone to anxiety and overthinking. They seek harmony, stability, and emotional safety. Type B, in contrast, is linked to creativity, freedom, and spontaneity. These individuals are expressive and unconventional, but may also struggle with consistency. Then there's AB, known as the rarest and most enigmatic of types, who embody paradox. They're logical yet emotional, introverted yet social, often seen as mysterious and hard to read. And finally, type O, the most common, typically associated with leadership, confidence, charisma, and strong emotions. These people are often natural magnets, the kind who light up a room without trying. Now imagine these aren't just surface traits. Imagine they shape how you love, who you're drawn to, and why some connections feel effortless, while others are constantly on edge. Jung would not have focused on blood types per se, but his theory of psychological typology mirrors this idea in striking ways. Jung believed that we all possess certain dominant cognitive functions: thinking, feeling, sensation, intuition, and that we lean either toward introversion or extroversion. He taught that our outer personality is only half the story, and that our unconscious holds a shadow self, filled with the traits we repress, deny, or ignore. What's fascinating is how these two ideas, the Jungian psyche and blood-type personality, intersect in relationships. Let's take type O, for example, bold, expressive, natural leaders. They may unconsciously crave the steadiness and emotional discipline of type A partners, those who bring order to their chaos, who hold space for their intensity without being swept away by it. It's a dance of balance. What one lacks, the other offers. Similarly, a free-spirited type B may be drawn to the mysterious depth of an AB partner, someone who offers both grounding and intrigue, someone who doesn't try to tame them, but reflects them in unpredictable ways. These patterns aren't about logic, they're about resonance. They operate beneath the surface like magnets hidden behind thick walls, pulling us toward people we don't fully understand, but can't seem to resist. Have you ever looked at a couple and thought, they don't make sense together, only to realize that their dynamic works in a way that words can't explain? That's what we call karmic attraction, the sense that something in the other person awakens a forgotten part of you, a part you didn't know was sleeping. Jung might say it's the unconscious seeking wholeness through relationship. Blood type theory would say it's your internal nature seeking its counterpart. Both are speaking about the same mysterious pull. We see this even among public figures. Many celebrities in Japan and Korea openly share their blood types, and fans often analyze their relationships through that lens. Whether it's two pop stars dating or a TV couple with on-screen chemistry, viewers speculate. Do their blood types match? Are they a balance of strength and softness, logic and passion? Of course, not every relationship fits neatly into these categories. But that's the point. The goal isn't to label love, but to understand the hidden forces behind it. Your blood type may not determine your fate, but it can illuminate the traits you carry, the ones you seek, and the emotional patterns you repeat. When combined with Jung's insights on the shadow, the anima and animus, and the deep structure of the psyche, something profound begins to emerge. Love isn't random. It's instinctual, archetypal, a process through which your soul seeks its reflection in the eyes of another. And maybe, just maybe, your blood is carrying messages from generations before you, quietly steering you toward the people who can show you your truest self. So when you feel that pull, that unexplainable connection to someone, don't just look at the moment. Look deeper. Look at the structure beneath the surface. Because the story of who we love is often the story of who we are becoming. And in that story, your blood might just be the ink. Love, in the eyes of Carl Jung, is never just about desire or compatibility. It is a mirror, a reflection of everything you've buried, forgotten, or denied within yourself. It is not about finding someone who completes you in the way popular culture romanticizes, but someone who awakens the silent corners of your psyche, the unhealed wounds, the suppressed instincts, the rejected truths. Jung called this the shadow, the hidden self that we push out of conscious awareness, not because it is evil, but because it doesn't fit the image we've created of who we're supposed to be. And when we fall in love, truly, deeply, it's often with someone who embodies that shadow in ways we don't consciously recognize. You're not drawn to who you want. You're drawn to who you need in order to confront what you've been running from. You don't fall for someone because they're perfect. You fall for them because something in them, maybe something wild, maybe something wounded, matches the very part of you that's been silently aching to be seen. Think about it. A person with type A blood, who tends to suppress anger, manage emotion with discipline, and strive for control, might find themselves inexplicably drawn to a type B, someone uninhibited, emotionally expressive, unapologetically free. On the surface they may seem incompatible, but beneath that surface, the attraction is magnetic, because one holds the chaos the other hides from, and in that chaos, there is healing. We often say we want peace in love, but we're pulled toward what unsettles us, not because it hurts, but because it reveals. As Jung once suggested, the greatest acts of love are also acts of confrontation, with the self, with the past, with the shadow. In the language of the psyche, love becomes a sacred summons, a quiet voice within saying, "This person carries the key to a door you've never dared open." And sometimes we open that door not out of courage, but because love leaves us no other choice. That's where the concept of anima and animus enters, Jung's theory that every man carries within him an unconscious feminine image, anima, and every woman carries a masculine image, animus. We're not just looking for connection, we're looking for resonance with this inner figure. You may fall in love with a woman, not because she is simply beautiful or kind, but because she stirs your anima, the deep, intuitive, emotional part of yourself that you've never been taught to honor. You may love her, not for who she is, but for what she awakens in you. Likewise, a woman may be drawn to a man not because he's strong or successful, but because he reflects her animus, her internal force of action, power, and will. Love, then, becomes not just a romance, but a psychological unfolding. And your blood, your biology, may not dictate this journey, but it does carry traces of it. Certain blood types, with their inherent traits and emotional leanings, shape how you repress or express your inner world. They shape how your shadow forms. And if love is a mirror to that shadow, then your blood type may quietly influence the kinds of mirrors you seek. It's not deterministic, but it is deeply suggestive. You are, in a way, predisposed to be challenged by certain energies. These challenges are not punishments. They are invitations. Jung believed in the collective unconscious, a kind of shared psychic inheritance passed down through generations. In that sense, your blood is more than physical. It is ancestral memory. It carries the symbols, instincts, and emotional blueprints of those who came before you. And when you feel an intense, inexplicable pull towards someone, it may be more than attraction, it may be recognition. As if something in your blood remembers something in theirs. As if the voices of your ancestors, encoded in your very cells, are whispering, "This is the one who will show you what you need to heal. This is the one who carries the lesson your soul came here to learn." That's why some loves feel fated, why they burn with a karmic heat, why even if they're brief, they change everything. These are not just relationships, they're revelations. And whether they last or fall apart, they leave you closer to yourself. You don't love someone because they're easy to love. You love them because something deep in your unconscious recognized them before you ever did. So the next time you wonder why you keep falling for the same type, the emotionally distant ones, the wild ones, the ones who scare you or soothe you or break you, ask yourself, what part of my shadow are they showing me? What part of me is still asking to be seen? Because in the end, love is not about comfort. It's about awakening. And your blood, your instincts, your inherited psyche, all of it is conspiring to help you remember who you really are, through the eyes of the one who sees you, even when you can't. Your blood type is not just a letter, it's a silent code, a signature written by your unconscious, pointing quietly toward the kind of soul that will set your heart on fire. It doesn't dictate your destiny, but it shapes the rhythm of your instincts, the texture of your emotions, and the way you move toward love or away from it. So pause for a moment and think about those you've loved. Did they mirror you, or did they awaken something in you you didn't know was there? Were they comfort or challenge, familiar or strangely fated? Sometimes we are drawn not to what we understand, but to what we need to understand. And maybe that's where love truly lives, in the space between what we are and what we long to become. I invite you now to reflect on your own story. What's your blood type? And what has it taught you about the way you love? Share it in the comments. I'd love to know. Because here at Psy Depth, we don't just explore love, we explore the self that loves, the hidden patterns, the deeper truths, and the quiet forces that shape the most powerful connections of our lives.